How high does the sycamore grow? If you cut it down, you'll never know. Well, I just, every time I think of something and the song just always goes along with it. So that's the song that goes along with this lesson on the theory of unlimited potential. So we're coming up on the end of our time together, and there's some more points that I really want to leave you with to ponder. And a lot of it comes from the book, The Spirituality of Success, which, as you know, my father wrote, Vincent Roazzi. And the reason why he wrote that was because he came across this statistic that 93% of U.S. citizens at the age of 65 are not financially independent, meaning in order to retire, they'd have to depend on the help of family, friends, or the government just to make ends meet. So here we are with the American dream, right? And 93% of people at retirement age can't actually afford to take care of themselves, and some of them can't retire at all. So many years went by since he originally wrote this book. And since then, there were countless financial gurus and personal development speakers and lots of resources. In fact, many of them are on the shelf behind me because I am a student of these things. And recently, we looked up this statistic again to see if it was the same. And indeed, it was exactly the same. 93% of people at the age of 65 are not financially independent and must rely on the help of friends, family, or the government, which we know isn't providing much, just to make ends meet. So how is it that we've had this plethora of resources, all these amazing teachers over the years, whether it be, Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, John Maxwell, like I could go on and on of all the great leaders that have been out there. But yet the number has not wavered, not even a percentage point, not even down to 92%, So the question is why? Then why with all this, newfound knowledge and resources, free resources, I mean, the library's free, right? Has this number not changed? And we thought about it, and it turns out that really uber successful people have something in common. And it goes beyond, what the actions they've taken or the mental toughness that they have, the positive mental thoughts that they have. But it's something called the spirituality of success. There's something just a little different and unique about them. So he concluded that, even with all of these resources, there are many ways, there's many books, even this course will tell you what to do in order to be successful, right? Like, what are the actions to say? What are your scripts? What's your process? Things like that. And then there's also tons and tons of resources that will teach you how to think in order to be successful, like The Power of Positive Thinking with Norman Vincent Peale, or The Secret by Rhonda Brown, and all those great authors. So there's lots of resources on what to do and how to think. But it's been said that man is more than just the body, the doing, or the mind, the thinking. It's three parts. It's the body, mind, and soul. So if there's resources on what to do and what to think, where are the resources on who to be? Who do you have to be in order to be successful? And think about even the words. You don't do successful. You don't think success. You be success. I want to be successful, right? So it's something you are, not something you think or something you do. It's something you are. So can I go into all of what that would take. I think that's a whole other journey and a whole other course. But I want to plant the seeds for you today before we leave each other, because it's really important to understand that it's not just about making a stellar presentation, and it's not about saying the right words, and it's not about having the exact right process, all in an order every single time. It's not just about, having positive thinking on top of that. But it's also who you are as a person. And all these mental toughness talks and emotional intelligence talks that we've talked about is about who you are. It's not about just thinking. It's about who you are as a person. It's about examining yourself, what might be holding you back in certain areas, what your limiting beliefs are, right? What's keeping you from reaching your full potential. Those all address who you are. And I can guarantee no other sales training even would remotely address this. But again, this is what launches people into the uber successful realm. And I'll bring it into nature to help support my point. If I asked you this question, how high does a tree grow? What would you say? Right? A tree grows as high as it can. That's how high a tree grows. A tree will grow to its full potential unless something tries to stop it, unless something tries to cut it down or it hits a wall or something like that. But otherwise, a tree is going to grow as high as it was intended to be, because that's the law of nature, and that's the law of unlimited potential. Now, humans, on the other hand, are distinct from nature in one way, which is will, right? Like, we have the power to choose and decide. So we choose whether or not to grow. We can choose whether or not to take care of ourselves. We can choose how we think. We can choose to be successful. We can choose to do the things we need to do to be successful. And we can choose not to. It's a major difference between humans and all the rest of nature. So what are we capable of then? What are we capable of then if everybody's has some kind of limiting beliefs holding them back? Did you ever wonder, what could we actually be capable of if there was nothing holding us back? There's a saying, what would you do if you were never scared to fail? You were never afraid to fail. And you think your mind can launch into these possibilities. That's unlimited potential. It's when you have no barriers, no voices in your head holding you back and holding you down. And that's what personal development's all about. It's about understanding, what those mental, what those limiting beliefs are that are holding you back. And it takes a lot of introspection. It's not something that happens overnight. And so my ask to you is to be like the tree. Be like nature. Work to strip away these limiting beliefs that you've developed over the years before you were even aware of it. And see what your potential is. Because gosh, I could see it, and I'd be really excited if you lived it out. And even if you notice in our logo, we chose a leaf to represent JPM Sales Partners, a gold leaf. The gold is a throwback to the Greek age of wisdom, and the leaf is a tribute to nature, and the leaf has three sections to it for mind, body, and soul. It was very deliberate. So I hope that when you see that on our logo going forward, it'll remind you to be like the tree. You have mind, body, and soul, and that needs to be taken into your business life as well. It's not something that's just left at home. It's always a part of you. So to be aware of it and to be able to bring it into your work life is a game changer. It has been a pleasure being with you, helping you through the mind, body, soul approach to selling at the Virtual Sales Academy. And I hope that we have many, many more times together where we can share our progress. So until then, see you in the next lesson. How high does the sycamore grow? If you cut it down, you'll never know. That's Pocahontas, I think. All right. Bye.